Okay, we are ready for our featured speaker today. And coaches, you're in for a real treat because she is someone who has faced some hard challenges the last few years and loss and relocation and hardships. But through it all, she continues to find her faith in herself and what she's doing as a coach. So she started coaching July 3rd, 2014. So almost 5 years ago. Get this, she hit 15 star in 23 months. So she worked incredibly hard to hit that superstar rank. She's a 3-time elite, and she's been a Success Club 10 legend 57 months in a row. So that's every month she has been in the business. She's from Bonita Springs, Florida. Everybody, let's welcome Jessica Jahraus. Hello, Jessica.
Hello.
Welcome to the call.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here.
And have you recovered from the week trip?
I'm working on it.
And you're from Florida, so it's like I still had to get back to Fort Lauderdale and then, 6-hour flight to Los Angeles. So I'm wide awake right now, but I wasn't yesterday.
Yes, I still feel like I'm a little bit on a boat, but that's okay. We'll get there.
So you know what? Let's jump right into the call-in. Why don't you share with everybody, your momentum, your motivation for becoming a coach. How did you become a coach?
Well, before I was a Beachbody coach, I was a worship leader and director of connections at a large church in Minnesota. And I worked 50 hours a week outside the home. I had a brand new baby boy, and after 6 weeks of maternity leave and having a preemie, I had to go back to work, and it was extremely exhausting, and I was nursing and pumping every 2 hours around the clock. And I was stressed, and I loved food. I still love food, but I really loved food, and I overate, and I ended up gaining about 50 pounds total overall. This was really difficult because I was up on a stage in front of people, maybe 1,000 people on a weekly basis. And so the mornings, Sunday mornings before I would go up, I would probably change about 6 times. Just because nothing really fit right. I didn't feel good in my skin. I had to remind myself that my worth wasn't found in what I looked like, but I just really wasn't happy with what had happened to me and what had happened to my body. I absolutely loved my job. I was born to lead others and to share my faith, and I was proud of the work that I did. And after that baby boy was born, I realized that I was not able to give him quite the dedication that I had dreamed of as a mom, and that was to make him my #1 ministry. So I kind of hit this breaking point. I remember I would, go drop him off at daycare, go to work all day, go back to pick him up from daycare, and then I would go back to the church because I'd be leading ministry initiatives or small group assemblies. And at 1 year old, my son couldn't say much, but he could say, "No church, no church." And that broke my heart because I knew that, again, he needed to be my #1 ministry, and it just did not, I felt convicted. It didn't feel right that that's what he was experiencing because he knew that he wouldn't get my full attention. So I started to pray that God would make a way for me to be able to be home full-time and to still bring in a full-time income. And I had no idea how that was going to happen, but I still had faith that it could. And so I continued to pray over that. At that time, I was also, again, very overweight, and I could see my friend and my coach, Luana. She was posting on social media that she had lost 10, 20, 30 pounds. And it took me about 6 months, but I finally reached out to her, and she got me started on the 21-day fix and Shakeology. I actually returned my second shipment of Shakeology because I just didn't think I could afford it. Obviously, I was missing the value there, but I absolutely loved the community, and I missed it even when I returned it, and I ended up losing about 20 pounds right away.
Wow. So there's going to be a lot in your story that is kind of laced with faith. And you and I spoke on the ship about your topic and why you were going to speak on this topic and why it meant something to you. So why don't you share with everybody why on this topic and then go right into it.
Absolutely. Well, events and momentum from events are extremely important to me because it was at an event that I made an amazing decision to be a coach. I've also been re-energized and had belief instilled in me over and over and over again at all the events I've been to that I've been dedicated to for the last 4.5 years as a coach. So I, again, was watching my coach. I had experienced some weight loss and I waited about 5 more months as I was watching her. And after that, I started to ask her about coaching. And so she told me about this super weekend that I could go to, and I didn't know if I really wanted to go to that, but she was telling me that they were going to premiere PIO, which is a brand new program at the time. And I thought, well, I love group fitness. I might as well check this out. So I decided to go. And I'll never forget when herself and Tony Stay and Lindsay Stay, both coaches, her upline, came into my home to pick me up and to go to the event. And they were so real. I remember actually thinking to myself, wow, these people are the real deal. They loved on me. They asked me about my faith, my health journey, about my son. And I just really felt at home with them right away. So I went with the 3 of them and we went to Super Weekend, and Lindsay was actually speaking at the event. And I listened very intently as she spoke, and her story was raw. It was a story that was triumphant out of brokenness. And I remember listening, and I couldn't connect with every part of her story, but I could connect with her as a mom. And I listened, and she talked about how Beachbody and her working so hard for her business helped her become a stay-at-home mom full-time with her son while she worked. And that really spoke to my heart. So I just remember feeling a little bit of hope. I didn't sign up right away that day, but I went to that event, and that's kind of what nailed it for me. I really left there feeling hope. I felt like maybe Beachbody coaching was the answer that I had been praying for. And so I continued to pray about it for about 2 more weeks. And I remember, again, having that belief. We talked about faith, and I had faith that if I was supposed to do this, that I was going to go all in. And if Lindsay at the time was a 7-star diamond coach making 6 figures a year, that I was too going to be a 7-star diamond coach or beyond. And I was going to be able to be home with my son. I was going to work hard, and I was going to pray as if it depended on God, because it does, and I was going to work as if it depended on me. So I was going to give it my all, and so I did that. And since becoming a coach, I too have brought many people to Super Weekends that have later become coaches. I have watched people's lives change at Summit over and over again. And it's at these events, when we think about why we would go to these events, really what it did for me is it helped me see the opportunity and then realize the possibility that it could truly be in my life. And that's what really spoke to me. And not only that, but not too long ago, my pastor was talking about his psychiatrist friend, and how his friend told him that most people that come in for help with depression are actually diagnosed as lonely. And so it really just hit me that, we have this incredible community with Beachbody. And when we go to these events, like Sandy, like you said, it's not just about showing yourself in a swimsuit, yay, we're on a beach or whatever, right? I mean, that's fun. And it's fun to show the fun things that have to do with it. But it's about showing people that as Team Beachbody, and even in our individual team cultures, we have an incredible gift of community that people are longing for. So 3 points that I really want to share with you guys today to utilize events and build momentum is number 1, make events a non-negotiable for your business, you guys. No matter where you're at, if you signed up yesterday or if you've been a coach for a long time, you can absolutely attend Super Weekends. You can make it a point to get to Summit. You can absolutely hit SC, get the invite for the SC trips, and book it right then and there. And let's just talk about the elephant in the room. I know that it's easy to say that, but it's not always easy to go to things like that. You know, there's always an element of sacrifice. And I'm a single mom. I have 2 kids. I have a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old. You know, hosting a retreat in Florida and then going on a cruise, there was a lot of sacrifice in that. But I knew that what it would do for myself and my coaches was so beyond that sacrifice for a week and a half. I actually had the honor of being able to talk to a couple of my coaches that came to our retreat. And I said, what was your sacrifice to go? And a lot of them said that they had to sacrifice financially for airfare or, you know, childcare, that kind of stuff. But what it did is it instilled this belief in their business, being there with like-minded individuals and being able to join together in community helped them understand that this was so much bigger than themselves, and people that are watching that are seeing that joy as well. They also talked about how people that are watching are wanting to be a part of it. So I know I had a coach, Claire, who was on the SC trip, said that while she was on the boat, her sister, who she would love to be in this with her, actually said to her, hey, all my friends are asking how you got on this trip. And I'm wondering how I can get on a trip like this with you. And so then they were able to have a conversation about coaching even more in depth than they had had before. That kind of stuff happens because people see the raw, real community that we have when you attend events. It validates your business when we don't only talk about it, we show it. And let me be clear, just going to an event and bringing somebody doesn't mean that they're going to sign up right away. That's it. Okay. It's a lot about what you do before, what you do after, and in the in-between. So again, I talked about how I watched my coach for a long time. I watched her coach shout her out and talk, you know, recognition and talk about summit and all of those things. And my love language is words of affirmation. So those kinds of things really spoke to me, and it also validated what they were doing. I absolutely love that, you know, they showed me the process. They showed me it through events, and that's what builds the momentum. So when I showed up at Super Weekend as a customer, I was just trying to figure out what this coach thing is about, and I felt the presence being at that event. So I wanted to give you a plan of action because we have Super Weekend coming up, right? We have Super Weekend coming up in about 2 weeks. April 12th through the 14th. And I wanted to give you a plan of action to be able to really utilize this event to bring a prospect, to use it to help momentum with your business. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. And I'm going to show you a little plan. And just know this, I'm going to go through this fast, but you are also going to have the opportunity to check this out in the Beachbody Champions page after. So here is a good inviting plan for Super Weekend. And first off, I just wanted to show you an idea of a post. So I'm going to have this again as a resource for you, but basically I talk about, you know, hanging out, how excited I am. I talk a little bit about my health and what a blessing it's been for my family to do this business. And then I invite them to an opportunity to come hang out, check it out for themselves. And I give them a call to action to direct message me or comment. And I encourage you to do the same. Then I always try to show like a fun picture. If you have a team picture, great. I like to show that. I like to show fun that we're having. If you don't, because you're a brand new coach or maybe you don't have one, that's okay. Here are a couple options as well of just individual pictures that you can use of you just having fun and brightness, or just even with a couple team members works as well. Then as people comment on your invite post, I'm going to talk about how to invite individually as well. But when people comment on your post, I wanted to give you an example of how you could then personally invite them in a response. So I would send a message and I would say something personal to them. And then I would actually give the bulk of, hey, I saw your response to my post. I am so excited that you're interested in coming with me. This event is a blast. And then I highlight, we work out together so that they know what to expect, and you know, it's fun with other people. Hear from some incredible people about their weight loss journey and coaching. I always leave so motivated, and then I tell them when the event is and I ask them, does that work? And again, this is not like a super long message. It's just a friend to a friend, inviting them to be a part of this with you. And obviously I'm talking to local people as well. Then if people like your post, here's another example where you can use basically the same message, but just turn it around a little bit. So you can say, I saw that you liked my post and I would love to have you there. So you can add that in. And then I have an invite, and I just note this, guys, if you have local hot market, and what I mean by hot market is best friends, close family that you want to be a coach on your team, invite them to come with you by just calling them. Hey, I've got something fun coming up. I'd love to have you come with me. You can share a little bit about the expectations and then just say, so can I pick you up at 8:30? Does that work? And just be natural. You just want to invite them to something that you know you're going to have fun at and that you're passionate about. And then, of course, if you have people that are local friends or challengers that you want to come to Super Weekend with you, then I give you an example. And again, it's very similar to what I gave above. It's just a little bit different in some of the details and how you word it. But that is a way for you to actually personally reach out and invite somebody to come with you to this incredible opportunity. Then, of course, at the event, I didn't write this in here, but guys, at the event, just be you. Don't be weird. Don't act like you're trying to put up a front or anything. Just have fun. Just let it flow. Let them enjoy the event and you enjoy the event yourself. And then afterwards, maybe in the car or something, just let the convo flow. Ask them what questions they have. Tell them maybe about something that stood out to you as something very true with your business or as a coach. And then I just put some key questions in here. Do not ask these all at once. You're not interviewing them. You're just letting conversation happen. So something that might be a good question to ask would be, hey, what stood out to you at the event? What seemed fun about the group there? Would you ever be interested in earning an income from home? What would bringing in an extra income do for you? I know that this has really helped me pay for my groceries or my phone bill. What would it do for you to have a little extra? And just keeping it really casual, but just going into that as well. And then I just wanted to share with you, and then on Monday, I wanted to add this in. On Monday, after the event, call them. Just say, hey, Claire, did you have a good rest of the weekend? Have you thought more about Saturday at all? And then compliment them. I honestly think that you'd be so good at this because obviously if you brought them, you do think they'd be good at this. So tell them that. Again, it's about that faith and belief. And sometimes people need to hear it from you to feel it themselves. And then ask them if they have any other questions for you about coaching. Invite them to a call that you're doing, whatever it is, but just be natural and just invite them and just ask very plainly and simply. Then I wanted to just give you an example real quick of some fun things that I do during events. Again, it's not just to go get to an event, or just to show it. It's to show the community. It's to show the fun and the joy and all of those things and to tell your story. So I have an ongoing sneak peek group that I personally do with my team. And I always, I'm trying to share with our events as well. So during the retreat that I had right before the cruise with some of my leaders, and then during the cruise, I posted in that group, and you can also post these on your personal page, and I often did. But in the group, I just put, hey, friends, we're going to share with you a little bit about our coach community over the next couple of weeks so you can have fun watching our leaders enjoy our retreat and our Beachbody cruise. And then I put in a variety of photos. So I'm not going to go through all of these photos. You can see the examples in Beachbody Champions after, but I put a lot of examples. Some of them are just one sentence kind of things, just telling what we're doing, just worked out with 1,000 coaches. And then I go into a little bit more of like what this has meant to me, but it's still like a short paragraph. We just share, beach time, stuff that you're doing, you're showing that you're hanging, you're having fun. And then I also like to just put little snippets of why I'm a coach in here, and sometimes it's lighter. Like in here, I wrote, if I'm going to watch what I eat and work out the rest of my life, I decided I might as well get paid for it. Stuff like that. Live your best life. Yes, sometimes we just show the fun that we're having. And then I like to go into my story. And I don't like to make every post a really long post because I feel like when I do share my story and it's a longer post, it draws more attention to that. So it's good to have a variety in what you're doing. And then again, just sharing what bonds us. And then at the end of that, and I actually have put this on my page as well, I like to do some kind of coach opportunity call. So let's chat, basically instead of my team call Tuesday night, I'm doing a call for anybody that wants to jump on, that was watching the cruise and watching what we were doing and just wants to hear more. Again, I make it extremely casual, so it's nothing too intense, but I invite them, and I actually put the link in my sneak peek on my main page. I just invite them and I let them know that they can DM me or comment below if they are interested in getting the link. And then,
so go ahead and unshare your screen for a second, because this is really, really good. I wanted everybody to be able to understand that your posts are not about look at me, look at me. It's about look at what's possible, and I wanted to rephrase that, because you and I talked about how posting can just be about, oh, I'm on a cruise, I'm doing this, and making people feel FOMO, when really you're trying to make people feel the joy in coaching and what is possible for anyone and everyone. So I know that now you're going into the rhythm of events. So I just wanted to jump in. So you're doing great.
I love that. I love that, Sandy. And yes, so, when it comes to the rhythm of events, I look at it, I kind of sandwich it with inviting. So I look at it as invite, attend, share, and invite. So the invite is at the beginning because you want to invite people to come along with you. But whether they say yes or no, or they can't, or for whatever reason, you still attend the event yourself. You share what you're doing at the event, like I talked about, sharing the heart behind it, sharing all about it. And then you invite them again to be a part of it. And the thing is, guys, is that events build momentum no matter what stage you're at in your business, because you're energized about what you do, and it shows. Even on a deeper level, like Sandy was just talking about, it shows. And the reason why we have to make this rhythm of events a priority is because if people only see you post about your community at Summit once a year, remember, we have an epidemic that people are wanting, they're feeling a loneliness. They want belonging, basically. Okay. So if you only share once a year, they only see that once a year. But if you get into a rhythm of inviting, attending, sharing, and inviting in these events, you have 4 times a year that you can go to super weekends. You have Summit, you have leadership events, you have retreats with your team, you have the SC trips. There is a whole rhythm that you can use for all of those events where you can truly share the community piece ongoingly, no matter what. And, it's in those events that we create those moments where I truly look at it as like the 5th vital behavior. It's to me, events is a non-negotiable, because that is where people see other people enjoying life and understanding that we don't have to do life alone. We don't have to. And Beachbody and the way that we team up like this is an answer to not having to do it alone and having that sense of belonging. So I just wanted to kind of do a fun little challenge or show you what I'm challenging my coaches and myself.
Wait, go ahead, Sandy. I'm going to jump in and bother you one more time, because
I love it.
It was the 5th vital behavior, and I was like, you know what? I don't think it's the 5th. I believe it's the 4th. And so we're going to share this, because at the very bottom of your vital behaviors, it says do personal development. And at the very bottom, it says attend all events. The reason is because events are growing you personally. So just by attending events, you're not just checking it off on your to-do list. You are actually going there to receive more development, no matter what, super weekend, summit, think of it as personal development, and it's part of vital behaviors. Okay, you can go back to your
Love it. Love it. Exactly. So something that I'm doing to challenge myself and my coaches is I'm just challenging all of them to go to super weekend coming up and to bring a friend. That's something that we can all do, right? No matter what stage you're at in our business, we can all do that. And then get your ticket for Summit now. I truly believe, when I'm talking to my coaches and I'm like, guys, let's get our tickets to Summit now. I really truly believe that the only way you for sure commit is if you have that summit ticket. If you say that you're going to wait, you know, you're giving it as an option of if you'll go or not. You don't need to have that option. Commit now. And then, of course, hit Success Club every month, get an invite to that Success Club trip, and make it a non-negotiable to sign up right then and there to go to that SC trip. And not to mention, oh my gosh, it's so much fun. So much fun. But yes.
That was fantastic. That was so good. And I want to remind everybody that we have one annual event a year. It's called Coach Summit. We have a rewards trip that is once a year. We have leadership for those who qualify once a year. And we have the NLC, which is the New Leader Conference, once a year. So Super Weekend, 4 times a year. So in between all of those events that are kind of fixed on the calendar, what are you doing? And, you know, just the fact that you have an opportunity call or a sneak peek or, you know, Tuesdays with Jessica, whatever, you know, those are the opportunities that you're exposing people to the possibilities. So I love, love, love what you've shared today from the heart. And I want to ask you, what has Beachbody done for you? I mean, in your personal fulfillment, what has been rewarding for you as a coach?
I'm going to try not to tear up, okay? But, you know, Beachbody has helped me work extremely hard for what I know is possible. And to be able to now work so hard to be able to be home full time and make both of my kids now as a single mom, they're my #1 ministry. I can volunteer in classrooms. I don't have to work 3 jobs outside the home. I get to be present. That is such an amazing thing for me. And it's really the answer to prayer that I always had from the get-go. And then truly going off my topic, it's the community. It's the sisterhood that I have within my coaches. And it goes all the way from my upline to Lindsay Matway, Lindsay Stay, Luana, all the way down to my downline. It is something that I will always recognize as I went through the hardest year of my life last year. My coaches and my friends and that sisterhood stood by me. They were in this with me. And, you know, I didn't think Elite this year for 2019 was going to be possible. And it's because of the bond that we had and coming together and fighting for it together as a team to help more and more people made it possible even in the final hours. And that is something I'm extremely, extremely grateful for. And I feel blessed and rescued and so grateful for the opportunity that Beachbody gives me every single day.
Thank you so much. This was really, really a treat. Thank you for coming on the call today.
Thank you, Sandy.
So coaches, a couple of things that she said that I want to reiterate, and it's just about how she prayed, you know, how she has prayed for something that she's wanted. And to those of you who are faithful, whatever, work on personal development, prayer is also about putting it out there in the universe, okay? So whatever universe you're putting it out there, it is not just prayer that makes it happen. It's the hard work. So she's got the faith, she put it out there in the universe, she worked hard for her results. And for that, I also have an affirmation. She also speaks her truth. So with that, I am going to say, have a fantastic Monday, fantastic week, first week in April. We are 3 months till Summit, 3 months till summer. We've got so much on the docket today. And of course, in about 15, 20 minutes is the reshoot of 21 Day Fix live. So I bid you farewell, everybody. Until next week, have a great day. Bye-bye.